Blue Ox Productions presents 2014 Ural electrical relays. Wiring is a little bit different in the 2014 Ural. It's got 3 relays on it, and they're wired a little bit differently than on other Urals. I was taking off my seat plate to finish up the wiring of the power for my winch, and when you remove the seat plate, you notice that there are 3 relays underneath the seat. If you look at them from the back, and they're numbered on the wiring diagram, that's relay number 1, it's relay number 2, relay number 3. If you want to know how you can tell the difference of them, relay number 1 has red and purple wires going into it, relay number 2 red and green, relay number 3 red and blue. And I'll go to the wiring diagram chart and explain exactly what each of these relays do. Now, it might be a little bit difficult unless you get out your own wiring diagram to see what these relays do, but there is relay number 1. Okay, and this purple wire is 12 volts DC from the fuse panel, fuse number 2, I believe, and you see it comes up and it ties into contact 87. It also comes around to the energized part of the relay. Okay. What energizes this relay is this ground coming in here, and that comes from the kill switch. So this is basically what I would call the kill switch relay. In the run position, there is no ground on this pin. So therefore, you have 12 volts coming from the fuse. This contact is de-energized, and you have 12 volts going down to this red wire, which goes to relay number 2. And it also takes 12 volts. If you follow your wiring diagram, it takes 12 volts to the diagnostic port. Sorry about the focus. Okay, so that's relay number 1. When you hit the kill switch, it puts a ground on there, energizes this relay, as long as you have the key on, and then therefore it removes 12 volts from the rest of the system. It also sends, if you go this path, it sends a ground to both sides of the ECUs. So that's relay number 1. Now relay number 2 has something to do with the start system. We know that it gets its 12 volts from relay number 1 when relay number 1 is in the de-energized position. That's when the kill switch is in the operate position. So 12 volts goes to one side of the energize, and it also goes to pin 30, which is one side of the wiper arm. There's nothing on 87A, so nothing happens. So this, in order for this relay to do what it's supposed to do, it has to be energized. Well, it gets its ground from the alternator, and we know the alternator produces a ground when it's not spinning. Okay, so now your key is on, your kill switch is on. This relay is de-energized, this relay is energized, and it puts 12 volts on pin 87, and as you can see, pin 87 goes over to the contact of pin 85 to energize that. This is the start relay. On contact 86, the blue wire comes from the start switch, which is a ground that'll energize this relay, and it'll put 12 volts on the solenoid of the starter to crank the starter. So in reality, there's not a single start relay in the system. You basically have three relays, and they have to do something in order for the engine to start. So a ground from the kill switch, which provides ground to the ECUs, and also this relay the removal of a ground to de-energize this relay. And then it provides power to this one, a ground when you hit a ground from the generator, and a ground from when you hit the start switch. Now the minute the generator starts spinning, this ground is removed, de-energizes this relay, removes the 12 volts from this relay as well, so that way when you hit the start button when the engine is running, it won't connect the starter. So that's the operation of the 3 relays on a 2014 Ural.